Okay, welcome back to Luther Sewell's Woven in Time by Dugan. I'm with Jake again, and he's got more stories about my brother Herbie or David to tell. And this time, I think he's going to talk more about his children, his sons and his daughters. And Jake went on from being a young man in an organization uh, that Herbie was the adult advisor or leader in, to being the adult advisor for the young men when David's sons were in there. So he's got the Sewell's full circle. So
That's right.
so
Yeah, I mean, I even mentioned that it kind of did feel full circle, especially because I took what David, when he was my young men's leader, and a lot of what he embodied, and I tried to emulate it the best that I could with the kids that I were interacting with. And so my whole mantra was get down on their level, have fun, make fun activities, make memorable moments. And a lot of that revolved around David's kids, at least the people that I spent a lot of time with, because we jived so well together. We would spend Wednesdays together, but we would go off and do things outside of church just together during like breaks, school breaks, and holidays. One of the most fun things that I think we would do is we would go to a place called Petty John's Cave. And during my time in Young Men's, we would go as a Young Men's group. And there were a lot of people who were like iffy on going, like not really a caver type of person. So we wouldn't go into it a lot. But during Thanksgiving break and Christmas break, the Sewell kids, David's kids, mainly Tyler, Nathaniel, and Hannah, would be like, "Hey, do you want to go to Petty John's?" Like sometime during the break, and I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'll go," you know. And we just crawled all over that place with all of them and their friends and whoever else wanted to come, and it was nearly a tradition by the time they were getting old enough to start getting married and moving away, to where it was like, yeah, every year we were headed down to go caving, and we would go, like, we would leave here 9 p.m. at night, get over to the cave about 11. We would cave all night until about 3, 4 o'clock, then get out, go have Waffle House, and then we would go home. And I remember talking to all, like, every stage of kid that David had, with the exception of like Tabitha, who was too old and had moved away at that point. But I mean, not too old. She could have definitely came, but she was busy doing other things. And then, but with Tyler and Nathaniel and Hannah, each one of them,
and Madison
and Madison came too, even though I kind of caught him on the tail end of his youth. And so he was going off to college and starting to sell
and being
stuff,
crazy.
being crazy, whatever he was doing, right? But yeah, we would run around and do things. We would we did caving. We would toilet paper people's houses.
Well, listen, is this a dream I had, or did this happen? Seems like one day I was over at Herbie or David's house.
Yeah.
We were on the front porch, and you were there because that wasn't unusual for me to go over there and Jake to be there, uh, either in his official capacity or just going there.
Yeah.
And something was going on with. We were on the steps. I think you were on the steps, and I was on the steps, going outside, going down to the ground. And I think there was something going on with Nathaniel and Hannah on the ground, and Herbie's probably agitating it because he did that a
Sure.
lot.
Yeah.
And Christy's trying to be the peacemaker.
Yeah.
And I think, and Jake will take this out if this didn't really happen. you smile kind of like you are now. You said, "I want to be a Sewell."
Probably. I mean, I don't remember that exactly, but there were definitely times when I was over there and I was like, wow, this feels like home.
I remember Jake just looking at it and saying it to nobody in particular. He's just whatever the chaos is going on. He said, "I want to be a Sewell."
Yeah, because it was, I mean, I'll talk about, like, Tabitha was, she was in the youth group that I was in. And so I got to spend a lot of time with her. In fact, I asked her to go to homecoming dance, which back then, though, when I think about it, I was more of a kind of a clueless teenager because I invited her, but ended up like not spending a lot of time with her actually, which was
Shame
dumb.
on you,
I
Jake.
know, right? Tabitha's she's great. She was a lot of fun, but I did spend time with Tabitha. She was very actually I remember. Listen, Tabitha's a great person. I'm going to tell the story though. Okay, I don't want anybody to worry about this because we're all totally safe. But she would drive us to dances quite often because I lived pretty close to where the Sewells lived. And on one occasion, we drove down a road that doesn't have any lights, didn't really have any buildings on it, kind of near cow pastures. And Tabitha, I was in the front seat and she was driving. There were some people in the back, and she was like, "Hey, watch this. This will be really fun." And she turns out all the lights on the car and turns on the hazard lights, so in very small bits, we can kind of see the road and then we can't see the road. And she does this for like seconds, and I'm like, huh, this is fun. When are you going to turn the lights back on, And she was just like, this is great. And then, yeah, she turned the lights on after that. But it was stuff like that would just be kind of dumb teenager stuff that we would do that was always just a lot of fun. Now, for me, though, I grew up in a rural town before I went to high school called Forsyth, Georgia. And like I said, was largely kind of a clueless teenager when it came to like what regular teenagers did for
Social
fun,
things.
social things, right? And so my introduction to how to be a social teenager was from people like Tabitha Sewell and her friends, and all the kids that were around Tabitha's age were about the same. They like to have fun and go out and do crazy stuff, and it was it was really neat to have a group of people because they were really inviting too. Is the other thing. Like I was new, I wasn't very socially active, and they were kind of like, "Yeah, come on, let's go to Walmart. We'll hang out. Let's go to a dance. I'll drive you." Like it was all very nice. I can't really complain too much about my childhood, especially when it comes to the Sewells, because they were all really familiar and really kind, even though they were rowdy. Like they definitely knew. I think that they embodied having fun, as much fun as you can, before it gets too bad, right? But it was just a good time all the time, and I never was asked or did anything that I feel like is overtly like just the wrong thing to do. I mean, I'm sure that there were things that could have done better, but there wasn't anything I needed to talk to the bishop about, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Well, how about with with the with the younger kids? You got anything with Nathaniel and Hannah? Anything that you remember? Now
Yeah,
Hannah went caving with you guys some
she
years.
did. Yeah. She would go, and I mean, she was as good as anybody else caving. And Nathaniel, I remember as a young men's leader, I would try and include everybody as much as I could. And Nathaniel was active in sports when he was in high school, and he had a friend called Joseph Stout, who they would go to sporting events together for their high school, and we had planned to go to Petty John's, but they were had to go to something way off in East Georgia, like close to Athens or something. And I wanted them to go really bad to Petty John's, and so I said, "Listen, I will drive up to this place, meet you, and then I'll just take you over to Petty John's." Now, Petty John's is East Georgia, or sorry, West Georgia, and we were in East Georgia. And so I drive an hour to get up to whatever high school they were at, and then drive another 2 hours across the east or to the west side of Georgia on the northern side. There is no highway, there's nothing up there that's like just a clear shot to where we were going. And so we're driving in the middle of the night. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm with, Joseph and Nathaniel, and we're driving on these roads trying to get over to where we're going to go. and they are like, "Are we going to get there? Where are you taking us?" Like, I don't recognize any of this, and I was like, "I don't recognize it either. I've never been here." We're just following the GPS. We chase down possums, like going over here. We finally get to where we're going, and I remember talking to Chrissy about this, and she would said, the kids really enjoy the fact that you'll sacrifice stuff. And I think that Nathaniel, he definitely was somebody who I would sacrifice stuff for him to be included. Any of the kids really, but the Sewell kids were people who, because they were so close, I just wanted them to be around and to experience whatever it was that I was trying to plan for them. Hannah, Nathaniel, like all of them, because I really wanted to give back to David. He put so much into me and all the other youth that I felt like it was right to just kind of do the same thing. But yeah, it was always a good time with them and the kids. We always had a great time.
Well, I mentioned I'm going to talk. He's talked a lot about the schools. I want to talk about his family.
Sure.
I had not been here that long. What year did y'all come here? 2001,
2000. We came here year 2000. Yeah.
Anyway, I had only been here a matter of a very short time, and come to church one Sunday, and I saw this couple come in with four kids, two teenagers or preteens, and then two little kids. And they came in and they went toward the back of the church, or they may have come in the back of the church, and they were kind of huddled up in a group, like, So I knew, okay, these people, they're newer than I am. And I walked back and introduced myself. It was Randy Bingham and Michelle Bingham. And for some reason, the little boy, he's the youngest one in
Yeah, yeah. He could have been more than 5 or something back
here.
then.
He was standing there, big eyed, just looking at me and smiling, and we just gravitated together at that time. And I talked to him, and later on, his mom told me that I was the very first person that spoke to them when they came in. And but it wasn't long. I went to see him. I think it was me and Philip Kelly, I believe. I'm not sure who it was, but somebody went to see the Binghams, and Clark was there, and I worked for O'Reilly Auto Parts, and I had a little simulation, I guess, of a Swiss Army knife, and it had about four blades on it and a screwdriver or whatever it had. And I gave it to Clark. The very next time I saw Clark, he gave me one. One that I gave him had a red handle. He gave me one with a blue handle on it.
Mm.
And just in the last few months, Jake, I found that knife.
You did?
Both the little plastic handles were gone on them.
Nice. Yeah.
But I found it. I took a picture of it, and I may put that picture up here on. But I just happened to think about that. I found it, and that was been, like I said, probably 20,
Oh,
20
yeah.
22, 23 years ago.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
And and now Clark's back in town, or back home. He's in, but a pretty special family. I've got a walking stick that I use that Randy made for me, and I got a walking cane also. And then I came back the other day and I bought a walking stick from him to give to a cousin of mine because I liked the one I had. So, and the thing is about those walking sticks, my walking stick, I think he told me was a dogwood. I know that the one that I bought for Brett, he told me was a crepe myrtle. And he knows every cane he's ever made or every walking stick. He knows what kind of wood it comes from. I'm amazed that he can pick it up and tell where it comes from. It may just be all fictional. I don't know, but he makes it sound like it's true.
Oh, it's not. He knows. He spent it about my dad, Randy Bingham. He spent 40 years in the forestry, doing forest fighting, and the only thing that he wanted to do was just be in the woods. And so, any plant, any track, any whatever, you show it to him, and he'll be like, "Oh, it's this."
Yeah,
he's knows. Yeah.
I don't have the walking cane with me, but the walking cane came part of it came from outside of El Paso, Texas, a
Oh.
fire he was fighting.
Yeah.
And he saw a piece. He said, it looks like a cactus or something. He said, I saw it. And he said, I think I want that. He said, I went out and cut it. It's probably about that long. And he said, then he was in Uvalde, Texas. I need to do one of these with him so we can, with that walking stick.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And he said it was just a little scrub oak with a vine growing all around it.
Yeah.
And he said, that looks interesting. He said, I went and cut it. It was only about that long. And he takes his sticks and he throws them on the opposite side of the house because Jake's mom will throw them away if he leaves them over on the garage side. So he throws them over there where she seldom goes. And he says he lets them lay there for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then he'll clean them up, make sure there's no cracks in it. But he said, I had those two short ones for the longest time. And he said, I was going to carve something on or say. He said, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I knew I couldn't make a walking stick out of it. He said, but one day I'm looking at them, I'm thinking, if I put them together, it'd be long enough for a walking cane.
Yeah.
So he hollowed out one end of that cactus-looking thing and then whittled the oak piece down and stuck it up in there together. Then he took a deer antler that he found somewhere here in the woods of Georgia, and then he put a Texas star on the front of it. So, and he gave me that. He gave me that by we went to lunch one day with your mom and dad last year. I went to lunch with your mom and dad, and I came back. Your mom had to take her granddaughter back to her mom or something. Anyway, Randy, I didn't have a car, and Randy was going to take me back over to the Gerards. So he went in the house when we got out. He went in the house. He got back. He had that walking stick or walking cane, and that surprised me. That's beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, he's quite an artisan. And the nice thing about my dad is that he gives freely. Like it doesn't faze him how long it takes him to work on something. He gives it to somebody, they appreciate it, then he's happy. You know.
Well, he gave a walking stick that day to me and Phil McDaniel both. He gave us both the walking stick of our choice. We didn't.
He's done that for as long as I've known him. He's just been somebody that's like, oh yeah, will you use this? Take it. You know.
There is something wrong with him though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause he thinks I look like Tom T. Hall. But he can't be too much wrong with it because he loves country music and so do I. So,
He's a good guy.
He is a good guy. Jake's a good guy. He's okay.
Thanks.
I'll have to go talk to the rest of the Sewells about him. But
Yeah. I'd like to see that.
Jake has really been a part of the Sewell family ever since I came to Georgia. So, Jake, how about anything else you want to? Any worms you want to open? You don't want to tell any bad things about them?
No, I mean, I will say, and I've said it previously, that the Sewells were very influential in my life. They taught me a lot about not taking yourself too seriously, which we needed a little bit more of, I think, in this day and age. And like everything that I like, yeah, there are ups and downs, I think, with relationships. But honestly, when I look back on all the time I spent with the Sewells here and with people, it is just, it's all positive. Like it's a net positive. And I really appreciate Dugan. I appreciate David, his family, and everybody that spent some time with me because they cared about me. You know, that means the world to me. So
Well, thank you, Jake.
Yeah.
And you mean a lot, and your family means a lot to me. Not only me, but I was talking to David. I was telling him that we were going to do this.
Yeah.
And he was pretty excited. And he's always got. I mean, he says the same thing Jake says about us. That they're crazy, but they're really good people.
Couldn't have it any other way.
And maybe that's why we attract to each other so much. We're both crazy.
Yeah.
We both try to be good people. But please follow me, like, subscribe, do all the things that I don't know how to say. One day I told people to subscribe and to shred or something.
You got to say, hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Get the notifications.
Yes.
You know, subscribe, hit the button.
Yeah. Do what Jake said.
Yeah.
And be pretty, okay?
Yeah.